welcome back to the Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity. We're talking this hour with Alexander Dunlop, a card king, one form or another, who wrote the book, Play Your Cards Right, A Sacred Guide to Life on Earth. And so I had asked Alexander before the show if, a kind of a way to introduce you to his work and sort of what he does, to kind of give me like a mini reading here on the show. You guys will learn a little bit more about me. I'll learn about myself, and you'll see how Alex kind of does his thing, which is really, really fascinating. You know, I've known Alexander for years now. Actually, one of our practitioners here at Double Diamond Wellness, Dr. Millie Lytle, she works with him quite a bit. She loves him. So, you know, it's always a pleasure to have a homegrown practitioner around who does such interesting work. So, gave you my birthday before the show. I'm a six of diamonds.
That's right.
What does that mean?
It means a lot.
Oh,
it means
boy.
A lot of possible things. So, okay. So this is the card of the six of diamonds. This, again, it's a regular deck of cards, but there's so much wisdom embedded in this and hidden in this. It was hidden in plain sight.
Right.
So if we remove, I'll put it here, if we remove the sixes there, you see this symbolism of two straight lines.
Right.
Very interesting. When you don't even really look at it when you have the numbers there. That was one of the ways in which it was hidden in plain sight. This is sacred geometry. And so these two straight lines represent your primary energy pattern. The suit of diamonds is the material layers of life. Anything we can see, taste, touch, or smell. Clubs is the mind, hearts is the heart, and spades represents consciousness. So playing the six of diamonds as your primary energy, you're here to put what matters most into alignment.
Oh.
The material layers, the matter of life.
Okay.
Your game is to align the material layers of life, to put that into alignment.
Got it.
Now, you could be too rigid about that and too inflexible and too insistent, even a kind of a bully. Or you might kind of flop around and be too lackadaisical. Right? You want to find the sweet spot where you are flexibly aligned and bringing alignment in an even and balanced way without trying to push it too hard. Right? So what that means is making enough space for the energy to flow. You see how there's kind of like a funnel in between?
Right.
What can happen is having too narrow of a perspective. It's very important for you to broaden your perspective.
Okay.
Which you're doing by having me on your show, etc. So that you have as wide of a perspective as possible to create as strong a foundation as possible. We can think of these two straight lines as almost like a skyscraper reaching up to the sky. And you want to have this solid foundation so that you can reach up as high as possible. And you want to be flexible in how you build this, because you don't want to get suddenly knocked over when an earthquake comes.
Right. When you're inflexible and there's a strong wind, it snaps the tree.
Exactly.
But the trees that bend with the wind survive.
That's right. So this is your game in life, is to bring this alignment in what matters most. So whatever matters most to you, it's very important to you that you bring it into alignment. And that could mean social justice as well. It could mean financially. It could mean physically. I've met a lot of chiropractors who play this energy, bringing the physical body into alignment. Health and nutrition, getting our health, our physical health in alignment. These would all be things that are very important to you and that you have a natural gift to do when you're playing your cards right.
Oh, interesting. And I take it then that that's also the lesson I'm here to learn and to teach.
Well, that's right, is how do we properly get into alignment? What does that really look like? So that we're not kind of either stuck in a rut, which is false kind of alignment, or we're being too rigid and too insistent, trying to force others to get into our way of doing things. But we're finding a flexible, big enough perspective to create alignment for everyone and show others through your own example. So at your best, you mirror this example to others of what it looks like to be in alignment.
Cool.
So people would, from your energy field, because these are energy patterns. So like we say, a dog smells fear. We're actually all aware of each other's energy all the time. when you show up and you're playing your cards right, people will automatically get a whiff of what it looks like to be in alignment.
Right.
And you bring that energy with you.
Very cool. Very cool. I'd like to think I'm working on that all the time.
Is alignment an important word for you?
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah. And it's become more important over the years of alignment of, not just, what I'm doing, but how I'm doing it. And having discernment of you can do the right thing for the wrong reason, and it still doesn't work out right. And so the more that we do things for the right reasons, the more things work out.
It's being aligned at every step of the process.
Right.
Now, I'll tell you something interesting. Of course, these are archetypes, and they can be played any way that we choose.
Right.
Stephen Colbert is born to play the same card.
Okay.
And what's interesting about the 6 of diamonds is that it has as a gift the 3 of spades that I'm holding up now. This is like the soul gift.
Okay.
So when you're welcoming your gift into your life, you have like a channel of consciousness. Right? Spades is consciousness, and the 3 is like an antenna.
Right.
And that means you can download and receive new consciousness. It makes you like an artist. It means that you are innovative and you can channel a new direction, let's say. And it's often a card that's associated with artists or with performers.
Oh, interesting.
Because you are kind of downloading this new consciousness. And you can, in effect, become the consciousness of the people who you're sharing your alignment with. Right? And at his best, Stephen Colbert does that too. He has a consciousness that he shares to bring us into alignment.
Right.
That's what you're doing on your radio show as well.
Yes, hence the conscious consultant.
Exactly.
Very beautiful. Oh, thank you, Alexander.
You are welcome.
Very, very insightful and very true. I mean, that really resonates with me, all that you've said.
Yeah, no, thank you. And what I often hear from my clients is it might not be anything they didn't already know.
Right.
But by hearing it in this language, it helps to validate what we are and what we're doing. So then we can rest more assured in ourselves and be more confident and more clear in how it's almost like people have told me it's like going to the eye doctor and having the glasses tweaked a little bit so you can see a little sharper, a little clearer.
Yeah, I actually recently had to get a new pair of glasses because my old glasses broke. And it was like, oh, now I can see. Amazing.
Right. So it gives us this clear lens to see exactly what are the patterns that are already present in our lives.
Right. It's not that there's anything that's not there already.
Right.
It's just this helps to reveal it using a certain language.
That's
like you were talking about religion before being a language, which is a very interesting way to think of it, that it's a new language. Like the same way astrology is a language for understanding, same way hand analysis is a language, the same way human design is a language, right?
Right. This is a mathematical symbolic language that was imprinted on cardstock and hidden in plain sight.
Wow. Beautiful. Now, you recently wrote a book all about this called Play Your Cards Right, A Sacred Guide to Life on Earth.
I did.
So tell us a little bit about the book. Like, what can somebody expect? You got a...
I do. I have an image of it here. This is from Amazon, if you can see that.
Hold it a little closer. There we go. That's it. Play Your Cards Right. You can find it right on Amazon. I put a link into the right to the book on Amazon on the newsletter. Which, if you didn't get our newsletter, go to Talkradio.nyc, sign up for the newsletter, and it'll be in the post when we post the podcast.
Yes, thank you. So I'm really excited about this book. It took me 5 years of research and writing to put together, and I was thrilled when it first came out. It went to #1 on Amazon's Hot New
congratulations.
Release list. Thank you. And it's gotten great reviews. At the moment, it has 27 5-star reviews on Amazon, so
Excellent.
I'm thrilled that people are enjoying the content and finding it so helpful in their lives. Because that's the idea, is it's wonderful, this theory of the cards, but it's how does it really help us? How does the rubber hit the road? And as I shared, it changed my life to find out my cards to play.
What are your cards?
Oh, so my birth card is the 9 of Hearts.
9 of Hearts.
So transcendent love, big love, feeling things to the nines, which didn't play well as a little boy on
Yeah.
the playground. I was the sensitive boy, and I didn't like that about myself. So finding my cards to play helped validate the game that I've chosen to play as a soul, and helped me unlock that power from within myself. And that's what I hope to do in the book, is to show people that it's okay to be who you are.
Yeah.
So that we're not trying to be someone other than who we came here to be.
Right.
So
That we're not trying to be society's interpretation of us.
Right.
We're not trying to be what our parents want of us. We're trying to be just authentically who we are.
That's right. And it's like our soul's blueprint for this life. So we can see this template now in these cards to play, and I laid out in the book so you can read all 13 of your cards in your life path. And so now we have the template. So now we can see clearly, we can adjust the vision of our seeing of ourselves, and then slowly but surely start to accept ourselves for who we are. And in that is the freedom and the liberation.
Wow. So I know you said you got 27 five-star reviews, but can you give us an idea of like some of the things people have said about the book? Like, how has it helped them?
Sure. Trying to think of any of the specific reviews. I'm thinking of one gentleman who said that everything just started to fall into place in his life as it started to sink in. Just he found himself kind of falling into alignment in his life. Some other reviews focus on the fact that people feel like this book is the best book on the subject, because there are a few other books written about the real meaning of the playing cards. A lot of folks have written in that they thought my book was the best book. I'll take some credit for that.
Very nice.
So they're excited about my interpretations of the cards and how I break it down and how I show people the real meaning of these cards, so then they can apply them in their lives.
Right. So in the studio here, we had a question before we got started. We mentioned about cards. Rob, our trusty engineer, was like, "Oh, you mean tarot cards?"
Right.
And no, you said that, well, this is just the plain deck of playing cards, but it is related to tarot cards, aren't they?
Well, again, we're talking about the 52 deck of cards, and it's a very interesting question that I often get. And the conclusion that I've come to, long story short, is that they are two independent books.
Oh, it's a different book.
It's a different book. And just like this book represents the mathematical matrix of our solar system, what I believe is that the tarot book represents the mathematical matrix of a different solar system. So it's extraterrestrial.
Oh, really?
And it's been imported here, and of course we can use it to do divination. But there's similar in the fact, and they're related in the fact that they're both books that represent the fabric of our reality. It's just that the tarot book represents a different planetary system, so it's extraterrestrial wisdom, actually.
Oh, interesting.
That's what I believe.
Yeah. Now, the question always comes down, because this is so old, and like you said, you've gone back to like ancient Mesopotamia and Sumeria. Like, how did people in ancient times figure this all out?
That's a great question.
In
the Sumerian myths, they don't claim to have originated the tablets of destiny. They claim that they received them from their gods.
Okay.
So it was given. As far back as we look in our history, this knowledge was given as a gift of the gods.
Yeah. And I know there are many people who have written about ancient Sumeria, like Zachariah Stitchin, who has a very interesting interpretation of the myths, of how they're he kind of shows in many different ways how it's probably very extraterrestrial in origin, though there are some people who say he did a lot of reaching with his theories. I personally find that even if he did do some reaching, that there's still some very curious things there.
Yes.
Okay, wonderful. Wow, believe it or not, it's time to take our last commercial break of the show. See, life goes so fast, the show, when we have such interesting guests.
Having fun.
So when we come back, let's just talk about how people work with you a little bit and what the future holds for Alexander Dunlop. Okay?
Thank you.
So everybody, please stay tuned. You're listening to the Conscious Consultant Hour, Awakening Humanity, and we'll be right back after these messages.